point to humiliate your new wife? It was that move that ultimately led the bride to reconsider her relationship. The next day, I told him we were done. But people around her are urging her to reconcile with her new husband and give him a second chance, as they believe the bride is overreacting because of her issues. And her issues are, I'm very claustrophobic after a car accident years ago, and I panicked about being shoved into a cake and held there. Everyone is so united and confident in their assurance, and I'm making a terrible mistake that I wonder if they are right. I think it's easy to tell someone to marry a man or stay with a man or a woman when you're not a part of that marriage. It's also easy to tell them to leave, but I digress. I feel like nobody knows that relationship better than this bride. She's the one that's in it. And at the end of the day, like we've said before, it is a question about him not respecting her boundaries. That's also like kind of like the whole pushing the face into the cake. Like, I feel like somebody could get the police called on them for that physical act of aggression. I started dating a girl about 7 years ago. When we met, she was getting up on her feet and trying to find her way in life. I let my imagination take over and started envisioning her potential and what kind of life we would have together. I never had the feeling of disarmed, punch-drunk love that I had for her, and that probably clouded my judgment. Don't we love it when we put people on pedestals and then we actually love the idea of the person and not the actual person? Can confirm. Love that. Love that for me. Love that for you. Seems to be a trend. Throughout our time together, she would reach out and ask for money for things, repairing a car, paying a bill, etc. We were getting closer the longer we dated, and I would always help her, assuming that I was making an investment in both our lives by helping her through a period of instability. All in all, I probably gave her about $15,000. After about 4 years of this, I finally popped the question. She accepted, and we were married after a brief engagement. 6 months into our marriage, she told me she'd been having car trouble and needed about $2,000 for the repair. This struck me as a bit odd. By that time, I was more than familiar with her vehicle and knew her explanation for what the issue was didn't make sense. Oh, was she using it on, was she gonna use that money for something else? One evening after she went to sleep, I went and had a look at the part of the car she said was faulty. No issue. This set off alarms. I grabbed her phone on a hunch, typed in the amount she asked for, and it returned a text message with a guy she previously dated. Wait. Okay, no, I thought she was like gonna get some nails done or something. No, bestie, no. Not that nails cost $2,000, but you know what I'm saying? Like, apparently he reached out and asked for help repairing his car, and lo and behold, he asked for the same amount she had requested from me. My stomach turned as the thought entered my mind that maybe I had subsidized more of this guy's expenses across the time I dated my wife. Ooh. Oh, that's a big fat no from me. No. As I read through the messages further, I realized that this guy was the Lester Diamond to my Sam Rothstein, and I'd been played like a fool. I spent my entire relationship as a proxy sugar daddy. Wow. Okay, so you're funding the ex-boyfriend, eh? Is she still with him? Are they friends? Like, what's happening here? I thought on this for a few weeks and tried to figure out what to do next. These sacrifices were not insignificant to me. I'd been working as a surgical resident for much of our courtship, making very little money and working long hours to form a strong, solid foundation for our future. This was devastating, and I realized I couldn't reconcile the situation. I mean, yeah, I think I would probably be pretty pissed off if I found out that I was giving my loved one money and they were just giving it to someone that they had previously dated. Yeah, that would be a no from me. Once I had cooled down, I waited for an evening my wife went to bed early and I got onto her phone. I caught up on the most recent messages she and her paramour had sent one another. Then I initiated a conversation with him. Ooh, pretending to be her, yes. I posed as her and told him she'd been drinking, she's a recovering alcoholic, and that she needed to get some things off of her chest. Didn't go overboard, but I did send messages to the effect that she was not over him and that her affections had grown since marrying me. I all but teed him up to move in for a relationship with her. I then abruptly ended the chat and asked that we not talk about the conversation again in order to avoid furthering her relapse, but that we both keep in mind what we had spoken about and see if we could make a life together work. I then deleted the text from her phone and hoped the two would proceed forward together. They did. See, to me, it's almost like she still loved this guy and she was doing all these things for him because she wanted to get back with him. And eventually they did. You just had to be the one to nudge it in that direction. I kept an eye on the text for the next few months and progressively saw things heat up between them until it looked like she was committed to leaving me. We didn't have many assets together at the time as I was still finishing a surgical residency, so I knew the divorce would be quick and painless and that we would go our separate ways and she could start a new life with a guy whose underachievements I have been funding. That's a good point, eh? You're just kind of funding this guy that can't afford to get his own car fixed. Was it worth it? So, I filed for divorce and had her served papers. I was generous with the $10,000 in assets between us in order to make the split as quickly as possible and went on our ways to begin life anew. No, baby, you or her bank account. $10,000 is not going to be enough to fund her new deadbeat boyfriend. Well, new old deadbeat boyfriend. And you think that's the end of the story, right? Oh no, friend. You see, mama didn't raise a... In our state, not only are assets separated upon marital severance, but so are debts. That's interesting. And medical school is expensive, really expensive. $250,000 expensive. Oh no, so now she owes you for medical school. Wow, touche. Checkmate, my friend. So ended up with a parting gift of about $125,000 of my student loans. Wow. Wowza. Mwah. Chef's kiss. And guess who she shotgun married 2 months after our divorce? George Clooney. Fortunately for her, she'll only have to pay half that amount because if history does indeed repeat itself, he'll be paying the other half once the marriage ends well. That was good. That was good. I'm not sure you needed to go there, but I'm glad that you did, sir. It was all I could do to not send them a piggy bank as a wedding gift. Best $15,000 I ever spent. Wow, way to make lemonade out of lemons, my love.
Got any grapes?
That was excellent. Excellent. So petty, so petty. And by the way, you can get 10% off petty merch right now from now until Christmas on shop.charlottedobre.net. So if you've been planning on getting one of these bad boys, now is your chance. Some of the sizes are sold out. Sorry about that. Y'all just love my merch. What can I say? Would love to hear what you guys want to see next on the petty line. Or something different, maybe? Give me some merch suggestions. What do you want on a t-shirt, on a hoodie, on a unicorn?
Will you sign my divorce? I've sent it multiple times in the last 8 or 9 months and it ain't been signed yet. How are you about to get married?
Whoa! She's over here showing off her wedding ring, her engagement ring. Something tells me that he might want that ring back, babes. Does he know we're still married? Because I feel like that might affect the future marriage. I don't think you can get married if you're already married, depending on where you live. I love how he has his divorce papers like in his hand too. He's like, let's go! Let's go! My wife is divorcing me after 4 days of marriage. Grab your popcorns, friends. Grab your kernels. I met this girl at work. We started out as friends. At the time, she was dating a married man and she carried on that secret relationship for a year.
Boy, we've got a live one. Fella.
Okay. It ultimately ended because he couldn't give her what she wanted. He was already married. Okay, so then you thought it was a good idea to go and date this woman?
We've got a live one, folks.
I mean, I'm just saying, she's got like a history of like cheating and having no problem with dating married men. I got to know her more and I saw a deeper side to her. Okay. We fell in love, adopted a puppy, moved in together during COVID. Everything was amazing. Our friends got along well. She integrated into my family well. I proposed to her with a beautiful ring, hired an amazing photographer and videographer, and had my family get involved with the staging of the proposal. I'm not sure when and where things went awry, but she cheated on me. Well, duh. Duh! With some guy she met at a 24-hour fitness in Cyprus. She went as far as meeting up with him at the beach, the same beach I proposed to her at. Wow, no shortage of the audacity with this one. Who knows what else happened? It wasn't until later that I found out that she's still been Snapchatting that married man early on in our relationship, sending him scandalous photos and videos. No shame to be found, my friends. None whatsoever. In any case, I'd been cheated on twice in our relationship, and after the second time, we both agreed to go to therapy individually and couples therapy.
I am more nervous than a blowfish in a basement full of balloons.
Okay, we didn't learn our lesson the second time? When you met her, she was cheating. She cheated on you twice, and now we're still not like breaking up. I eventually forgave her, and in my eyes, our relationship had